Hello everyone, welcome to Cow RP once again. I decided I'm going to redo my tutorial. It's been a while since I've done one. I did one 1 or 2 years ago, I believe. Probably 2. Anyways, let's get started. Type an RP name. Now, this is very easy. You just need a first and last name. It can be pretty much anything, although there's a couple of exceptions. You can't have a name that's famous. Say, like, you can't be William Shakespeare. Something like that. Nothing from, like, an anime or anything like that. And I cannot stress this enough. Not a cow-based name. Not a cow-based name. Not a cow-based name. Now, let's go ahead and type in a name. I'm going to use the one that I usually use. If I can reach it, it's kind of hard to do this one-handed. Alright. Let's go ahead and begin. Guess that didn't matter. Okay, we're in the place that you begin when you start the game. It's a little room that has these little spinning gear-like things in it. Now, basically the only thing here, you just have to go into one of these. You just have to walk into them. Use the arrow keys to walk. I assume you would know that, though. There are 3 modes to the game. Kingdom, Peasants, and Kingdoms. Kingdom and Kingdoms are exactly the same, but Kingdoms has 2 kingdoms. So if you were playing this, there'd be an arrow or something to another screen for the other kingdom. This is regular kingdom. It's the most played mode in the game. Peasant is where you have to be only peasants, and for the purpose of this tutorial, and what you should play first, is Peasant. Peasant is one of the bottom 5 down here. There's the Woodcrafter. I'm doing these left from right, by the way. There's the Woodcrafter, the Gatherer, the Hunter, the Fisher, and the Farmer. Pretty much the Gatherer is the most basic one, for the most part. He doesn't really have any sort of skill at all, besides he receives twice as much resources for mining and lumbering, which is very good if you're just starting out. So we're going to go ahead and play that. Here we are in the world. You can probably see up here that we have a couple tabs. There's Close tab, Tools tab, Items tab. No, I don't want to reboot. Commands tab, Carpentry, and Masonry. Close, you just click on something and it'll come on or off depending on if you're wearing it or not. You start out with a gatherer cloth if you're a gatherer, which we'll go ahead and wear that. Now, the kingdom is up here. This is where the king lives, and the knights and the guards. In fact, the king is right there, hanging out. Don't know why. I suggest not being the king for your first time. It's really something that's very roleplay heavy, for the most part. Most people usually screw it up, though. There's the healer. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get into the basics of things here. Up here at the Tools tab, you just click on that. You click on the tab and it'll open up. And you have an axe, a shovel, a pickaxe, a sledgehammer, a hoe, and a knife. Let's go ahead and take a look at the axe. You click on the axe, it'll be in your left hand. If you have something in your left hand, if you click on something else like the shovel, it'll be in your right. You can dual wield tools. So, although an axe and shovel wouldn't be very good together. For the axe, you cut down trees with it, or other wooden-based things. To start chopping it to a tree, you double-click on it. Yeah, I think it's double-click. Or is it single-click? Hang on. Yeah, it's double-click. And it'll do this little animation, which is probably going to be hard to see on the screen. But it'll tell you that you chop some wood from the tree. And we're going to just go ahead and keep on chopping this tree down. I did this specifically at 1 a.m. because there's not a lot of people on right now. It's I think it's Sunday now. Yeah, it is. It's Sunday. When you chop down a tree completely, you'll get tree seeds. You bury these into the ground, and then you can make more trees. I'll show that in a little bit. Right here in front of me is a tomato plant. And if you double-click it, you pick a tomato. Usually they'll have 2 or 3 things, and then they'll run out of things to pick. They'll slowly regenerate with time, what they had before. Now, up here, toward the top of the screen, you'll notice a green, like, cow face, which is at 100. There's an apple up here with 95 next to it, or 94 now. There's also ZZZ with 0991 next to it. Now, the first one of those is your health. The green face will change colors if you get more damage. If you're anything under 50, I suggest healing up. The second one with the apple is your hunger, which will slowly go down with time. If it reaches 0, I believe it'll start eating into your health. And the third one is sleeping, which if you click on the 3 Z's here, the screen will go dark, and that means you're asleep. What this does is that this makes this number go back up to 100. If this reaches 0, you will automatically fall asleep. And you'll have to click this 3Z button right here again. Alright, we're back at 100. Let's see here. Healer's still down there. Alright, for the tomato, you double click on the tomato and you'll eat it. That makes the hunger numbers go back up. It went up to 99. For the wood, if you want to use wood, you can make wooden buildings and other stuff with it. You go to carpentry. You click on something like wood wall. Wood wall, we'll start with wood wall. Now, the way to build anything is quite simple, and I just saw somebody moving around. Hopefully they don't hit me with that shovel for no reason. Let me try and find somewhat of an open space here. Yeah, there's not really an open space here. That's kind of pragmatic. Let's see. Yeah, okay. You click on... Where was it? Wood wall. You hold the control button on the keyboard, and then you click on where you want the wall to be. And then the wall will appear. It'll take up 1 piece of wood. And you would do this for however you want to build your building. And that goes for anything. You'd have to go back to carpentry, and if you want to build, say, a wood stool, you click on that. You hold control, and you click on the ground, and then it'll appear on the ground. Pretty simple. Let's see. Let's go ahead and go underground. Let's go ahead and teach you how to go underground. For going underground, you go to the Commands tab up here, and you hit Dig Hole. You just click on it, and you wait a couple seconds, and a hole will appear. Let's go ahead and go down there. We are now underground. What you want to do is you either want to click on your shovel, if you want to go through this really quickly, or your pickaxe. I'll show you the differences between the two. The shovel, all you do is you click on one of the areas around you, like I just did, and it opened up this way. We can now walk here. And I walked up the stairs. As you can see, that's all that happens. It drops some stone, which is another building material. It's the second building material to wood. For pickaxe, you have to multiply click on the walls for them to break, but they'll drop more stuff. So if you want to build something big, you want to go with the pickaxe because it'll drop more stuff like stones, and I don't want to drop that. Didn't mean to do that. This red thing right here is a ruby. And so much stone. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything you need to know about the underground. Wait, there's something else I have to get. I forgot. There's one other thing that drops down here. Gold. Right here. It looks like a stone, but it's yellow. Alright. For building of stone, you want to go to the tab that's called Masonry. And let's build a stone furnace. That's what we need right now. As before, you hold control and you click on the ground where you want it to be. Now, with the furnace, you can do a couple things. Mostly of gold. What you do is that you click on the gold and you hold the button down. You then pull it over to the furnace, and then you let go, and then it'll ask you if you want to make a necklace, a key, or a coin. And we'll make a necklace for now. And that should show up in our clothes. We have a necklace now from the furnace. Let's show some crafting while we're here. Where is it? Combined. Okay. You hit combine, it'll bring you a combination screen. Now, there are different things that you can combine, but I'll just show one for right now. What you do is you click and hold down the ruby, and then you pull it over to the necklace. What that does is that it makes a ruby necklace, which you can then wear. That's one of the things that you can do with crafting. Another thing that you can do that I suggest is that you can make keys with gold. I'll just name it key. Now the reason that you want keys is that you can lock your doors of your buildings with it. Let's show an example. We'll go to carpentry, build ward door, control, and then click. When you build something that requires to be opened or closed or locked or anything like that, it'll ask you a name for it. You can name it whatever you want, but I'll just leave it with door for now. And if you have a key on you, it'll ask you what you want to assign to this, and then we'll assign our key to it. To be able to use a key, you click and hold the key, and then you drag your mouse over to the door, and then you let go and it locks the door. And if you want to unlock it, you do the same thing and it'll unlock it. Alright. Now it's very dark right now, and that's because it's night. So let's go ahead and create a fire, which lights up the area for a little bit, but you can't take it with you unless you click and hold wood and drag the mouse over to the fire. You let go, and it'll build a torch. You can hold a torch just like you can hold tools and such like that. It'll end up in your inventory. It takes up a hand space, but you now have a light source, which will allow you to see a lot further than you did before at night. And let's see what else we could do here. The sledgehammer. You don't need much for the sledgehammer. It's basically only used, I primarily use it for if I'm fighting. That's a good fighting weapon because it won't really mess you up like with a shovel or something. If you use the shovel and click the ground, it'll start digging a path. That's how you dig paths, is with the shovels. If you build a hole, let me show you. If you dig a hole, you click on dig hole, and you use the shovel and you click on the hole, it'll make the hole go away. It'll cover it up. Anyways, the shovel is always a bad weapon to use in combat. Now, what you use for combat is you have two little buttons down here towards the bottom that say attack and blunt. One of them will be red. That means that's your primary attacking method, which is attack right now. If you hit somebody right now, you would do damage to them and take away from their health if they don't have a lot of armor on or something like that. If you use blunt will knock them unconscious for a couple seconds, maybe 1 second, maybe 5, depending on what item you use. Tools won't do that much unless it's against another peasant you're dual wielding them. And the other buttons we have down here are pull and stop pulling. If you're next to something that can be pulled, you just press pull, and a menu will probably come up or something, and it'll say if you want to pull it or not, and then you'll pull it around with you. I rarely, if ever, pull anything in the game. If I do, it's going to be like a chest or something. In fact, I think there's some chests in here that we could pull. Yeah, I think we could pull these. Yeah, so what do you want to pull? A guard chest. We pull that. Runs around behind us. And if we want to stop pulling it, we just click on stop pulling down here. And then we stop pulling it. Beds are useful for, Beds are useful because they're a quicker way of getting our sleep back, which we should use it now. You just double click on the bed, and you'll go to sleep. And it will make your sleep go back up 2 at a time instead of just 1 number at a time. And then when you want to wake up again, you just press this 3Z button up here. This icon. I guess it's not technically a button. And, let's go ahead and teach about the hoe. The hoe is used for farming. And it's pretty easy. All you do is, if there's a path down where you want it, you just equip the hoe and then you click the path, which is dirt. And when you do that, it'll till the earth, and then these little squiggly lines will show up. What you want to do with that is, you stand over it, and then if you have seeds in your inventory, you double click on them, and they'll go in that spot. And that's all you pretty much have to do. Eventually something will sprout here. A tree will sprout here. No, a tomato. I had tomato. And that's a good way of having food. Nearby is to plant, plant crops nearby your house. That's a good way of having food to keep a hold of, as long as other people don't steal it. As you see, a little plant is beginning to grow there. Eventually it'll become a full-on tomato plant. Takes a little time. What else am I missing here? I don't think I'm particularly missing anything else, am I? If you die and there's no one around to heal you, there is a button in Commands tab called Abandon Mob. You can use it when you're dead, and it will send you back to the main screen, and then you get to be another person. You cannot have the same. You cannot be the same person that you did when you died. You have to be someone completely different. Oh, and for if you have a hole over on the ground, let me go ahead and dig a hole here and show this, because it'll help you out. You can build trapdoors. What you do here is, it's basically the same thing as a door. You can make a key for it and name it, and then you click and pull on it over to the hole, and then it'll be there. You just double click on it, and it'll open and close. If it's closed and locked, no one can get down here unless they destroy it with an axe. You destroy wooden things with an axe. And You could also make boats by the ocean, but I won't really get into that. It takes quite a bit of wood. And out in the ocean, there's islands and stuff like that you can go to, but that's kind of something more advanced to worry about later on. You can create wood chests, which can be locked. You can store stuff in there. But I think they can be broken as well. I don't remember if they can or not. And, you could color your clothes if you have berries, which you could find out in the woods. Let's see if I can find some real quick. If there's berry bushes around, they'll have different color berries on them. Do not eat them. I cannot stress this enough. Do not eat them without the healer's help. Don't do it, because they all have different effects on them, which will do different things to you, and one of them will kill you. Some of them will harm you, some of them will make you go to sleep. One of them will heal you, and I think that's pretty much the only good one. And one of them will kill you. Here's a berry bush down here. It's a blueberry bush. You just double click on it and you'll pick the berries. Then you go to items and you'll see the blueberries right here. What you want to do is go to combined, and you click and hold and pull over to the other berry. What this does is it'll make a dye. Now you just double click on the dye, and it'll ask you what you want to dye. We have a shirt and a gatherer cloth. Let's go ahead and dye our gatherer cloth. What this does is that it'll change the color of your clothes. So now we have a bright blue gathering cloth. Now I use two of the same types of berries. You can actually mix and match berries. You can use, like, for instance, a blueberry and a yellow berry, or a red berry and a yellow berry, or a white berry and a black berry, stuff like that. They'll make different color combinations. And I think that's pretty much everything covered that you would need to know about the basics. Now, this game is roleplay heavy. I won't get into that really because I wouldn't be able to really explain that very well. But, if you're a sensible person about what you're doing, you would probably be okay. And if you're a peasant, nobody really expects a whole lot out of peasants anyway, so make sure you pick peasant for your first job class. And I think that covers everything, so this is Veemon signing out.